to do to audition for the ensemble is first you go to a general small audition and you do a dance and a song. So then after that they pick about a group from that audition to bring on to the next round. And when you get to the next round, it's about 2 days of different learning the songs. So on the first day you learn the songs and the dances. Then on the next day you perform them, and they pick a pretty fair amount of students that were from that group, and then you can get cast in the city ensemble.
So this year we saw about 400 people in the open auditions, and we got that down to about 70, and then from the 70, I think we took about 33 to.
So the audition process for each show works so that individual people from the ensemble, whoever wants to go can go, and they'll split it up normally by boys and girls, or big kids and little kids, and everyone will learn one song, and then there's normally a dance to it, and we all perform that in groups of 4. And then for specific parts they choose, we don't choose ourselves, and they'll give let's say like one song to all the older girls, and they'll all sing it by themselves, a little part of it by themselves, then all the older boys, and then all the little girls, all the little boys, and then they make the decisions.
So do you actually get to say what part you're auditioning for, Thomas?
Oh, no, you do not. I'm Thomas, by the way. I'm 14, this is my 5th year. No, you kind of just, you show up, and a lot of the times, as with this show, how I was, I didn't really know a lot about it. I just kind of knew the general idea, and then you kind of learn what part you would like to get cast in as you read in an audition. And I was actually really excited to start playing Cheshire Cat.
It's a very competitive process from the beginning, as auditioning is, and I would love it if we could figure out a different way to do it, but no one has yet for theater. So.
I think the biggest difference performing at TADA and performing at school is there's a comfort here with each other as friends and then also as artists that I think just kind of exists from the beginning here. Kids who have been here for the longer than others try and really give that to the kids who are just starting, and so the community here is different than at school sometimes. At school, especially at a performing arts school, where it can be hyper competitive and almost like uncomfortable to take risks and work in a creative environment. At TADA, we all come in and like we're all creating very bold, different, out there characters. Some of us are playing animals, some of us are playing like, well, cards and things like that. So I think like the freedom to make choices and the encouragement that we have for each other and the familiarity we have with each other is, to me, the biggest difference.
So really not a lot of time. Average is about 15 to 17 hours a week. So if you really think about it, it's maybe about 80 hours of rehearsal, which is like 2 weeks to really put this together, including.
Understand, like, they really understand what's going on outside of performance. They understand that we are human beings and we have feelings and we have other things to tend to, like school. Here, this place is so good with school. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I asked an ensemble member for help with homework. Like, I've asked help with chemistry, physics, every subject, including especially history. So it's really comfortable, it's really understanding here.
So Megan, they have a meeting where they like say what all the characters are and what their roles and like certain things they have to do in their costume, they have to be able to do. And she comes up with a vision of like what she wants for each costume, and then she shares that with Nina, and they come up with one final solution, which is what you guys see now. The reason that Nina picked me is because when like she said, a lot of us like don't want to go into performing arts, but I want to be a personal stylist when I get older. So like I know one of the shows, I'm not sure which one it is, I'm gonna help Megan out, assist Megan. So like I'm interested in that kind of stuff. So, yes.
A lot has changed about the city, and I think that I think kids are kids, but I think what is I could get on a soap here. I would like to testify and say that I think there's something really wrong with the New York City, and as well as across the country, the education system, and especially testing. Yeah. And that is, I think, what is the biggest change is school days are longer. Homework is ridiculous. Kids starting now at a very, very young age, usually kindergarten, first grade, know they have to find the right answer and please the teacher. And that was not the way it was when TADA started 30 years ago. Kids had, they felt they could be more creative and free-spirited and try things. And it wasn't until you really got to about 8th grade that 7th, 8th grade that changed. It's really something that's hard, because what you need to learn, and I think what you need to learn for whatever job you go into, and a lot of these kids won't stay in theater, but for whatever job you go into, you need to be able to think. You need to be able to dream. You need to be able to figure out the answers and have the time to do that and explore things and think outside of the box and know that there isn't always this one right way of doing it. There's many right ways of doing it. And I think that's been taken away. And the amount of stress that I see in teenagers with the homework, with the testing, it's really, really sad. And I think it's not helping our society. It's not helping the United States be #1, because we have to work with all countries. It has to be a global society, and you have to know how to communicate. These guys create these characters. They figure it out. That's part of what you should be learning as you're growing up, you know, and what you can take with you. And it is true. The end of this show to me is really true. You do need to believe in yourself, to be able to go out into this world that we're all living in and create things and think, no matter what your job is.
I just want to say that every time I come to a TADA show, it truly fills my heart with joy to see the talent that's on this stage. And I applaud all of you for your hard work and your skill and your enthusiasm and your energy, and just very, very proud to see you.